Iran. Wait a few minutes for people to get into the room. Wait a few minutes, and these animals over here acting nuts. Ooh. Well, it looks like Offset was released from the hospital today. Mm. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like button. It keeps me in the algorithm. I'm gonna try to keep going live more. My leg still hurts. I go to the doctor on Tuesday, so get some people in the room. Mm. Let me go on YouTube and see how I'm looking. Let me see if I can see if I'm live or not. Hey everybody, all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Trump done played chess mate. He is getting these ships through the Strait of Hormuz over there. Mess me up. While these people playing checkers, Trump playing chess. Checkmate. So let's get into it. Trump's blockade threat raises risk and leaves predicaments unchanged. This is from the BBC. And Trump sued them and won 15 million. After a diplomat team led by Vice President J.D. Vance tried and failed to reach a negotiated agreement to end the U.S. war with Iran on Saturday, President Donald Trump had to decide his next move. That came on Sunday morning in a series of Truth Social posts. The U.S. will impose a naval blockade of Iran. Hey, Evan, how you doing? He must defeat famous beef. What do you mean? I don't understand. He wrote, no one who pays an illegal toll will have safe passage on the high seas, he wrote. He also said that the U.S. will continue clearing mines from the Strait of Hormuz in order to ensure a safe passage for Allied shipping. The U.S. military, he added, was locked and loaded and prepared to resume attacks against Iran at an appropriate moment. He went on to say that while progress has been made in the 20-hour negotiations in Islamabad, and they reached agreements on everything but Iran getting a nuclear weapon. Iran wants a nuclear weapon. Hey, Elise, how you doing, love? That view was contradicted somewhat by a U.S. official familiar with Vance's negotiations, who spelled out a much longer list of disagreements, including on Iran's control of the Hamas and its support for regional proxies like Houthi rebels in Yemen and Hezbollah in Lebanon. While Trump's latest post didn't have the apocalyptic bluster of last week's threat to end Iranian civilization, they pose a number of new challenges and risks for the American side. With mine clearing activities place American naval vessels at greater risk, how would the U.S. determine who paid an Iran toll? Would the U.S. use force on foreign flag ships that ignore the blockade? How would nations that depend on Iranian oil, like China, respond? We selling oil now. Trump got it that they can come buy their oil from us. Checkmate. Will the move intend to choke off Iran's primary income? It is to starve out the regime economically. Genius. That is genius. So the U.S. has blockades out there on Iranian ships. The blockade on ships entering or departing Iranian ports and coastal areas will begin this Monday. What our bro saying? Right. U.S. Central Command said, but U.S. forces will not impede vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz, Trump said. The U.S. military said today that it will blockade any ships entering or departing Iranian ports and coastal areas, but said it will allow other ships to transit the Strait of Hormuz hours after President Trump said the United States would fully block the economically vital waterway. The blockade on Iranian ports will begin Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Forces would not impede freedom of navigations for vessels transitioning the Strait of Hormuz to and from Iranian ports. Through the statement, the move was in accordance with President's proclamation. It appeared to soften Mr. Trump's earlier vow to block any and all ships trying to enter or leave the strait. In an interview with Fox News, the president had reiterated it would complete blockade and said traffic through the strait was all or nothing. They said Mr. Trump. Oh, they ain't even calling him president. Announcement had plunged an already brittle truce between Iran and the United States into further uncertainty. Iran has choked off shipping in the strait, which is about 20% of the world's oil naturally goes through that strait. That's checkmate. So we got the equipment that they go in and locate the mines and blow them up. So other ships that's traveling through the strait won't be blown up through those mines that they have in the water. So one Iranian negotiator says we will now bow to any threats that Trump makes. Well, he done blown up most of the leadership over there. Iran accuses U.S. of violating ceasefire as Israel attacks Lebanon continues. They are now Israel have already taken some land from Lebanon, so but Israel over there fighting the Houthis. I got my windows open. It's so nice. It is so nice. So this is gonna be interesting to see that the United States now gonna block the strait. From Iran. This is gonna be something different. This is gonna be something different.
That a lot of very good things are happening with regards to this strait, Hormuz, and a lot of good things are happening for our country. It's been very strong. We had some tremendous numbers released economically on jobs and everything else, and things are going very well. I would say it's going well. Their military is destroyed. Their whole uh, Navy is underwater. You know that 158 ships are gone. Their Navy's gone. Most of their mine droppers are gone. We have a lot of people, as you know, 10 o'clock tomorrow. We have a blockade going into effect.
Hey,
That'll be 10
Phil.
o'clock tomorrow. Other nations are working so that Iran will not be able to sell oil. And that will be very effective. But what we want to do is we want to, and again, we don't need it. What we notice and what we see and what I think is maybe my idea, maybe not, I don't know. But there are many boats heading toward our country to come up with oil and then go and take it. So they're not going to go through the Hormuz Strait. And ultimately that'll be corrected. But in the meantime, they're using us. We have more oil because of drill baby drill. We have more oil than Russia and Saudi Arabia put together. So if you look at Russia and Saudi Arabia, two big ones, we have much more oil than they have put together. And what's happening is boats are coming over here, filling up. We don't have to go through the Hormuz Strait.
Checkmate. We selling oil now. What that blew me away. That blew me away. You ain't got to go to Iran or the Middle East to get your oil. Just pull up to America and we got you. Damn, if that was not brilliant.
Very good shape, and we're very proud of them. They do pilot jobs. I think Iran is in very bad shape. I think they're very desperate. We had a meeting that lasted 21 hours. We understand the situation better than anybody, and Iran's in very bad shape. And just so you understand, Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. We will not have. There is no way that they're going to get. They still want it, and they made that clear the other night. Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. I don't care if they come back or not. If they don't come back, I'm fine. Their military is gone. Their missiles are largely depleted. The manufacturing capability for missiles and drones is largely defeated. We've been very nice. We haven't ripped down too many bridges. We did one only because they broke their word. They broke their promise. And remember, their promise was that they were going to open the Hormuz Strait. They didn't do it. They lied. Yeah, they're coming up and they're helping. Yeah, we have many other countries. But you just have to see that the ships are heading up to our country right now, empty, and they're going to go back filled up with oil. I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess. He doesn't think of it. He's worried about fear. What about the fear when the ministers and the priests and all of those great people that were arrested during COVID, and in many cases they're outside 10 feet apart, and they were arrested. So we don't like it. We don't like a hope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a vote that says crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of both them. He's a very liberal person, and he's a man that doesn't believe in stopping crime. He's a man that doesn't think that we should be toying with a country that wants a nuclear weapon so they can blow up the world. I'm not a fan of polio. But that's a very theoretical question. Really, I don't want to answer. Well, they're coming up. They're going to be coming up. But I'm very disappointed in NATO. They didn't do this. They weren't there for us. We paid trillions of dollars to NATO, and they weren't there for us. Remember what I said? NATO was not there. Now they want to come up, but there's no real threat anymore. But NATO was not there for us. We'll see what happens. But, we spent trillions of dollars on NATO to help them guard money against Russia.
NATO is the Illuminati, started by the Rothschilds.
I've long thought it was a little ridiculous, but we spent trillions of dollars doing it, and I think that's going to be under very serious examination. Thank you very much.
Check motherfucking mate. Countries is out to start pulling up to America to buy oil. Wow. Checkmate. You can't make this up. You cannot. You can't make this up. So let's get in some Iran old and new news. It's going to be all together.
And the USS Abraham Lincoln just shot down an Iranian drone. The reports that are just coming in that this drone was very aggressive coming towards the American ship, and they had no other choice but to shoot this down. At this point, this is exactly what we've been waiting for, and it's an excuse to get into Iran. Every day, every single one of us goes to bed praying at night that we wake up in the morning that the President of the United States of America has taken action against this supreme leader. The things that this man has done to the Iranian people is an atrocity. It's disgusting. Absolutely has to be held accountable for every single child that has screamed and begged for their life. According to the reports that continue to keep coming into me, is that they have imprisoned hundreds of thousands of children, and they are going to use an excuse as if America comes in there, and they said possibly, allegedly, they will take the lives of these people and these kids, and try to blame it on the President of the United States of America, that the United States did these atrocities.
Like they did.
Every single one of you right now,
That's true. Like they did with that school, and they actually did it. They have bombs and all that in schools, loaded up at schools. And you said Mr. Donald Duck. Well, you can call him Mr. Donald Duck if you want to, but that was a brilliant move. Now countries are going to come to the United States to buy oil from us. That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
the end of the left has officially begun. Watch this. Because I know you guys want to take this, but Gaza and Hamas and the Islamic Republic of Iran, neither of you have lived under the Islamic Republic tyranny that you guys are talking about the death of one single woman that have came in front of an ICE agent, a police, and you guys are talking about you guys have human rights. You guys have everything that you need in your life. We have been taken, our lives have been taken away from us. You guys have everything, and you guys once for once have one president in your country that wants the best for the people of America that have held the land for 250 years. America has a right to have a country.
Facts.
America has a right to have a country as much as
Facts.
the Iranians have a right to have a country.
Facts.
We have Iran supporting Trump, fighting their own government to make Iran great again. We have Venezuela supporting Trump and making
Facts.
their country great again. Cuba is supporting Trump.
Facts.
Their country to be great again.
Facts.
We will have Greenland supporting Trump and making their country great again. The left is cooked, and the whole world knows it. President Trump is going down as the greatest president in history, and history is going to remember exactly who stood in the way. The end of the left.
That's a fact. I agree totally. This is a war between good and evil. Everybody looks at it in the lenses of carnal mind in the physical realm. All of this is spiritual.
You know what? Why did President Trump suddenly cancel the strike on Iran? For me, that man is 10 steps ahead of others, and this is a masterclass in strategy and warfare. Last week, the entire world was bracing for war. The Pentagon was ready. Iranian airspace was shut down. Markets were on edge. Everyone expected the attack. And then, minutes before launch, President Trump called it off. President Trump issued a press release saying he did not attack due to assurances that the killings had stopped. The media said he backed down because regional partners advised him not to do so. But they were wrong. What actually happened next was a masterclass in modern warfare. Believing an attack was imminent, Iran exposed everything. They moved air defenses. They relocated leadership. They activated emergency bunkers. They rerouted communications. They shifted money. They revealed command structures. They showed exactly where power flows and where it hides. I bet during this, Iran's every move was tracked, every signal intercepted, every contingency mapped. There was no strike because it was never about the strike. It was a massive intelligence operation. America and Israel learned more about Iran in days than they had in years. Because the truth may be, America did not have everything they needed to take Iran in one go. I feel now they may have. Now America knows everything it didn't know last month. That's a masterclass in strategy. That's President Trump. You know what? Why did President Trump cancel the strike on Iran?
When you have to think out of the box, y'all be looking at this as the physical. This is Iranians in Canada.
We don't need Palestinian support for Iranians, and Iranians in Toronto, Ontario just showed why. They had 150,000 people hit the streets, and Toronto Police Service is complimenting them that there was 0 incidents. There was 0 Canadian flags being burned. In fact, there were Canadian flags being waved by Iranians who are grateful to be here. And I can't even tell you if someone had tried to show up and burn, oh, look, Canadian flag right there, burn a Canadian flag at this rally, what Iranians would have likely done to them. I'm going to leave it to your imagination. It would have not been good. We just showed what it is like to be organized, to be peaceful, to be respectful. No vandalism. Just people exercising their freedom to peacefully protest and show support against the Islamic regime terrorists of Iran. I love us. I'm so proud. We don't need Palestinian support for Iranians.
And even after the rally, they cleaned up. They cleaned up. They cleaned up.
Here is another masterpiece by the IRGC. This weapon is so lethal that even the USA is scared of it. It's called Al-Qadir or some shit like that. It is a submarine that's made of a inversed bathtub. And I only found very few problems, like 500 of them. Let's take a look.
He said 500 of them.
Zoom in, and the first thing I'm going to show you is the fact that they painted the submarine inside the water, and I think they forgot to paint it outside. They put it in the water, and then we got to paint it. How do I know that? If you look at these edges are, as the submarine goes like that in the water, they had to just quickly paint it, and you see these edges that are not perfectly done, and that's the reason why. Aside from the fact that they chose the color bright blue. The whole purpose of a submarine, if you don't know, is to be stealthy. It's to be completely secretive so that nobody can
To be
know
secretive.
where you are.
Facts.
Another amazing question that I was asking myself is that how did these guys get there? Because they feel like they're standing on eggshells and they can't move at all, otherwise the whole freaking thing would just flip over. And because these 4 people at the back, they're taller and they look bigger, so they're heavier. The back of the submarine is tilted in a way that's not supposed to happen for a submarine. My sources say that the depth of the submarine they can travel underwater
That's just a damn shame. I'm not even gonna play the rest of that that raggedy ass submarine.
Iran just crossed a red line. 6 gunboats with 50 caliber machine guns swarmed a U.S. oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. They ordered the captain to halt and prepare for boarding. This was an attempted seizure of a U.S. vessel. But the Navy didn't blink. A destroyer rushed in, guns ready, forcing the Iranians to retreat. If they fire one shot next time, it's war. The gloves are off. Iran is playing a game it cannot win against U.S. firepower. This is getting dangerous. Follow for more updates. Iran just crossed a red line. 6 gunboats with 50 caliber machine guns swarmed.
Congratulations. The birth of the fortunate savior, the Imam of humanity, from the glory of God, the honorable reliever. The high peak that holds all the beauties of the universe belongs to him. The great nation of Iran on the 22nd of Baman, 1357, February 11th, 1979, made the most precious, profound, and beautiful pledge to the Imam from the glory of God, the honorable relief, to whom all the joy of the nation belongs. They made a covenant with this dear Imam, and certainly the highest peak that in the year 1404, 2026, can symbolize the leadership and loyalty of the nation. The great nation of Iran will be on the 22nd of Baman. The year 1404. Katie, the great nation of Iran, and in these 3 months, 3 times, and on the 22nd, the Imam himself will make a covenant. On the 22nd of day, they broke the back of the sedition, and the highest peak of leadership and acceptance of guardianship was proven.
Basically, what he's saying, in about a month, we will recite the funeral prayer for Trump, the United States, and their allies. That's what he's saying in surmise. I just didn't want to hear any more of that. But that's basically what he's saying.
The Iranian regime is on the brink, facing their most severe crisis
This
since
is
coming to power in
Dr. Steve
1979.
Turley. I love his YouTube channel. I love his channel.
Currency is in a free fall, and upwards of 10 American warships are closing in. And their supreme leader appears to now be in hiding. The foundations of the Islamic Republic are cracking under the weight of economic collapse, military defeats, and a population that's finally overcome its fear of the security apparatus. The Revolutionary Guard remains the regime's final pillar. So will it crack? That's what we're about to find out. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor.
I love him.
Intelligence files describe how roughly 20 members of his inner circle, family, top aides, his designated heir, they would all flee with him, along with an estimated $95 billion empire hidden in semi-state foundations and front companies.
So when they went to take that money to Dubai, they confiscated all that money when they was trying to escape before this thing escalated. So I'm not gonna even let that play because we already know, and they lost that. Hold on, let me see.
Iran is holding a stargate that can literally change Earth's future. And nobody's been talking about it until now. This is more than just politics because Iran sits on Stargate 10, a portal once used to anchor eternal life energy into Mother Earth's body. For thousands of years, it's been hijacked by fallen forces who sent frequencies through it to trap the solar masculine and suppress the divine feminine voice. The people and voices rising up right now, they're not just protesters, they are souls who are awakening. And every single chant is cracking open dormant gateways buried in their DNA. And in the land itself, you see if the Abaddon gate reopens and distortion is cleared over Iran, a dormant energy current could flood into Mother Earth's planetary grid, reconnecting Persia to the eternal flame template. This wouldn't just free Iran, it could shift Mother Earth's entire energetic grid. Stargate 10 in the Middle East has been fought over in the invisible world for centuries. It's not just for oil. It's a very valuable piece of real estate, and the time has come to restore it. Iran is holding a Stargate that could.
You know what? And when he speaks of Abaddon, Abaddon is a high-ranking demon in Revelations. Also, if you know anything about CERN, CERN is in Abaddon in Switzerland. It's a high-ranking demon. Do your research. And that Stargate he's talking about, that portal, is real. Oh, let me delete that. I'm gonna scroll through this.
I just spoke with Special Envoy Witkoff, and these talks, as of right now, are still scheduled. President Trump is always wanting to pursue diplomacy first, but obviously it takes two to tango. You need a willing partner to achieve diplomacy. As always, though, of course, the president has a range of options on the table with respect to Iran.
Right now, the White House and the Pentagon on high alert as Iran's military attempts to target Americans in the Middle East escalate right now. The latest comes just days before a critical meeting to discuss what's next for the collapsing Iranian regime. And thanks for joining us. I'm Jan Jeffcoat. It is Wednesday, February 4th. And this morning, the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism is putting negotiations with the U.S. in jeopardy. It's the latest sign of growing desperation from Iran as the regime struggles to hold on to power. Angela Brown joining us right now from the live desk with the latest on this. Angela, good morning to you. You know, Iranian leaders are reportedly trying to change the terms of talks with the U.S. later this week. What's going on with that?
Yeah, that's what we're hearing, that they want to change the location and actually restrict talks. We're going to get to that in a second. But right now, as you mentioned, Jan, right before this week's meeting.
That's why they went to Pakistan. That's why they had the talks in Pakistan not too long. Well, over this weekend that failed.
Because the breaking news just coming in. The USS Abraham Lincoln to shut down an Iranian drone. We will not just coming in that this drone was very aggressive.
Wait a minute, let me turn that off. Okay, they must have deleted that.
Hey, this is Fraser. Whoa. Breaking news, guys. This just broke moments ago. The embassy for the USA inside of Iran is telling American citizens to leave right now. Now, they don't have a physical embassy, and they haven't had since 1979. We all know that. But they have a virtual embassy there, and this is what they just put up. Okay, these are their bullet points. It says, leave Iran right now. Have a plan for departing Iran that does not rely on U.S. government help. Flight cancellations and disruptions are possible. No warning. Check directly with your airlines for updates. If you cannot leave, find a secure location within your residence or another safe building. Have a supply of food, water, medications, and other essential items. Avoid demonstrations. Keep a low profile and stay aware of your surroundings. Monitor local media for breaking news. Be prepared to adjust your plans. Keep your.
So for those people who stayed, but I believe most Americans got out. Now this is where biblical prophecy comes into play. Gog and Magog will march against Jerusalem. That's scripture. Now, China stands with Iran. This is where you have to be concerned about World War III.
Breaking news. Guys, you won't believe what just happened now. Please, guys, watch this video. Guys, watch this video. China has said that if America sends missiles or warplanes to attack Iran, China will destroy them. China says it has advanced technology that can even find and target America's stealth fighter jets. America always believed that its stealth planes could go anywhere and no radar could detect them. But now China says we can find American stealth planes and shoot them down. China warned that if America sends any warplane or missile toward Iran, China will destroy it before it reaches Iran. China said, as long as we are here, America cannot spread destruction in this region. We will never allow America to attack Iran. China also claimed that America intentionally created protests in Iran and used people to protest in order to change Iran's government and bring a government of its own choice. Breaking news.
Now that's where you have to start being concerned. But see, Trump made checkmate again. He made a deal with Russia where Russia can still get oil. And now he made a deal where people don't even have to go to Iran. They can pull up to an American port and we will supply them with oil. That was genius. That was genius.
Today, a shocking warning has come from a former U.S. Army colonel and one of the most outspoken voices from Trump's circle, Douglas McGregor.
I like him.
What he revealed sounds like a nightmare scenario. McGregor has issued one of his most serious alerts yet. We are heading toward a war with Iran. But what he said next was even more terrifying. He warned that this war will not be normal, not limited, and not quick. According to him, the destruction could be so massive that America may be left with scars it has never experienced before. McGregor claims that China has secretly provided Iran with extremely advanced long-range missile systems, weapons capable of striking U.S. military bases across the region, and even targeting American aircraft carriers. He stressed something chilling. Even if a carrier is moving in the ocean, these missiles can still hit. Then came his darkest warning. I fear we may not even win this war, because the damage could be beyond anything America has ever faced. He believes large quantities of missiles and equipment have already been delivered. But the real danger, he says, is this. China may be providing Iran with real-time intelligence day and night, tracking exactly where American ships and forces are located. In other words, weapons have been supplied, technology has been supplied, and now Iran may be getting live battlefield guidance. McGregor also suggested that Russia is quietly backing Iran too, believing conflict with the U.S. is inevitable. And he reminded everyone, he was one of the first voices to say the Ukraine war was already lost for the West. And at the time, he was mocked and silenced. Now his warnings are louder than ever. He says Iran today is not weak. Iran has experience, upgraded capabilities, hidden missile systems, submarines, and mobile strike forces. And then he dropped the most critical fear. If the Strait of Hormuz is blocked, the world could face a historic oil crisis. Global markets could collapse into chaos overnight. Iran has also issued its own message. If we are attacked, every U.S. base in the region becomes a target. So the question is terrifying. If thousands of American soldiers come home in coffins, will the U.S. accept that cost? Or will the entire region explode into something far bigger? Stay connected with Truth Uncovered. Today, a shocking warning has come from a former...
I like McGregor. I do. I like him. He talks some real shit. Now, these are Iranian that entered the compound of the Ayatollah before he was killed. So when those two pilots went down, the Iranian people blocked the IRGC from finding them. Okay, now let me go to the Iranian people liberated one of their own cities, Abadanian. This is them. No, I meant it just like what I said. Trump versus Iran. I meant exactly how I said. Let me kick your ass up out of here, Wayne. Fuck you, bitch. You got me fucked up. Okay, there we go. Fuck you, Wayne, you bitch. Okay. Matter of fact, let me ban you. Yo, let me ban you. Nope, I wanna hold on, how do I ban your stupid ass? Report. Okay. Yeah, I reported your dumb ass. Okay.
If you're watching this, then I'm not around anymore. If you don't know, I'm from Iran. And a massacre happened in the past few weeks by our government. Regions more like the Bandits Group. More than 40,000 people died, killed, massacred. More than Russia and Ukraine war, more than Israel and Palestine war. I want to make this video to send a message to America and to the West in
Let me
general.
see what that is.
Tomorrow, on Friday, President Trump is going to make a deal with this regime. And he told us to keep protesting. And we did it. We trust him. To make a deal with this regime.
Sorry, y'all.
All those people who died. So, please, I beg you, do whatever you can to stop this deal. I mean, many people say that we should take matters in our own hands, but how can you fight people with guns?
Facts.
It's not just the government. The government itself hired terrorist groups, Muslim terrorist groups, to kill people. We still don't know what they did with the bodies. I won't waste your time. I just want to make 3 more points before I end everything. First of all, if people call us fake Muslims or Shia Muslims or whatever, but we are not Muslims.
Facts. They not Muslims.
We hate Islam. Try running away from it, especially my generation.
Because they're Persians, they're not Muslims.
Talking about that we want to reform Islam in Iran. We want it gone. And you see, the countries in the Middle East, like Egypt, Iraq, or Syria, Lebanon, they weren't Muslims to begin with. They've been colonized. But my country didn't. We still speak our own language. We may have many different races in here, but we don't hate each other. And Islam pretty much contradicts everything our culture stands for, from the equality between men and women to economy. So please, calling us Muslims is like, calling black people the N-word because they destroyed our lives. The second point is about the war. America attacking Iran is the only hope we have right now.
Boom.
You don't know how hopeless our people are right now. I myself, I can't eat, I can't sleep. I don't know how some of my friends are doing right now. The inflation is terrible. And all of this has been done by the government itself, this murderous terrorist regime. You see, the 12 days war between Israel and Iran, these people died. Then, 40,000, and most of them were government officials. So it feels like sweet revenge. We can't fight this regime alone. Our people need foreign intervention. A third point. The biggest piece of this puzzle of our country's future is the exiled Prince Reza Pahlavi.
They want him back.
And it's undeniable.
They want him back.
Being in these protests, they called his name even in my small town.
They want the monarchy back, the prince.
I'm so fortunate that they haven't got me yet, but I guess that's why I'm doing it myself. Anyways, there are other oppositions abroad. I mean, not in Iran, because everything is owned by this regime. But many of those oppositions abroad are also funded by this regime to create discourse. And I beg you, I beg these oppositions that are not paid by this regime to please come together, stop fighting each other. Reza Pahlavi, and I'm not even using Shah here, just to raise the olive branch. He's the best possible choice to make a transitional government. We have to take down this regime first. Afterwards,
You are free to advertise whatever you want, and people are free to vote. Finally, I want to speak more personally. This decision to end everything, it's not something new. I've been thinking about it for many years. I've even attempted at it, but it felt meaningless. I mean, life is still meaningless. Living here is so sad and empty. But creating this video, it feels like I can give this meaningless life some meaning. And it wasn't all bad. I mean, I've made some very good friends. I hope they take care of each other after I'm gone. My parents would be very mad. I mean, I'm taking away their only child. I guess I'm at least happy that I live a healthy life. I mean, I've never drank much. I've never smoked anything. I kept a healthy diet. I've exercised. I've been a douchebag for some years, but
After he made this video, he unalived himself. Okay, let me go to this. I'm going to.
I am an Iranian who lives in Tehran, and I can hear the sound of bombing outside. In case I'm dead tomorrow, I just want you to remember this. Please, shut the fuck up and don't use me against America or Israel to try and convince them to stop. We asked for this. We want this attack. And I know that you don't want to listen to us. You don't want to listen, but I'm going to give you the shorter version of why we want this. The reason is we had one option to go and protest this bloody regime, and we did, and they killed 40,000 of us in 2 days. This is the last option we have. We ask for the help, and the help is here. And I know and I don't care because I'm willing to sacrifice my life for Iran. And you just shut the up and don't use me to attack anyone who tried to stop this. We want this. You don't understand. You're not in our shoes. So shut the up. That was a message from one of our Iranian sisters, and she asked me to share this with you. So shut the up. I am an Iranian
Shut the
who
fuck
lives
up.
in Tehran, and I
Shut
can
the
hear
fuck
this.
up. They want this. They want to be free. Damn. Now, this is my man, Last Days. I'm going to end with this video. I love this man. This is
remember what I told you about this man?
This is who they want.
I saw him being assassinated. He will rise up as Iran's leader in the days ahead. And I saw him behind a podium talking, and they took him out. They shot him, and it was like a Charlie Kirk cut went out the side of his neck. And I saw this man being taken out the days ahead by the whole regime. Can you imagine Iran going from death to America to God bless America?
This is from the monarch. This is the prince.
President Trump is making America great again. I intend to make Iran great again. So he made a speech and he was talking in Grapevine, Texas. And this is what the Lord warned us about, that he would rise up and try to take over Iran in the days ahead, and that his life was in danger. And I saw that he had a window of opportunity to run. And then they brought, and this was the
for the people of Iran to have a major revival. But the Lord said it is a short-lived window. It was a short window. And then the people would come underneath oppression again with a new kind of a dictator that is evil like the Ayatollah. But it was going to be a window. And the Lord said, pray for this man. I saw him coming on the scene and running Iran, and it was not very long. And then he was behind the pulpit, just like this, a podium, and it come from the side. I saw it. There was microphones in front of him, and I saw how the projectile went through his throat. And the Lord said, they will try to, they will do. He didn't say they'll try. He told me they would be successful, but I pray that we can stop it. So that's the man, just like the Lord said. Remember when I told you about this man? I said,
Last days is the truth. I watch him all the time. Matter of fact, I go to sleep with him, listening to him while he's praying. But he said about Trump's ear 3 months before that incident happened at Butler, Pennsylvania. Okay, I got more. Oh, I'm gonna do one more.
this is how the mainstream news covers the Iranian protests. First, they put on some numbers to show that there's not anything going on. And if you fix the angle, they don't cover the major things that people are saying. So, for example, the thing that people are saying is we have a leader, and the alternative is Republican. And they're saying Trump right now, and they're saying after election, no. And now, if you go look at most of the news channels out there, these things are not like that. Thank you very much. I'm not a journalist, I'm an engineer. I don't know what I'm doing. This is how the mainstream news.
Well, anybody who still watch mainstream news is an idiot, because all they do is lie. Oh, I got time. Let me play this one.
I don't know how they claim to be fighting.
This is when Iran attacked Saudi Arabia.
I don't know how they claim to be fighting for Islamic causes while attacking Islamic countries. They are not attacking a single nation. Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, Oman, Lebanon, Jordan, Azerbaijan, Turkey. All these countries are Islamic countries, yet Iran attacks them. And even before this war, what was Iran's contribution in the issues related to the Islamic world? They support the Houthi militia in Yemen. They supported the popular militia in Iraq, who are, and now they are attacking Iraq. They are attacking Iraq territories, Hezbollah in Lebanon, who didn't suffice by hijacking the political decision in Lebanon, but rather was an effective arm to perform sabotaging actions in the region and in Saudi Arabia. And the biggest example is Iran and Hezbollah's role in Syria. So where is such support or so-called support in the Muslim world when they commit such crimes and supporting the former Syrian regime? How do they support the Islamic world when they assassinate politicians in Lebanon? How do they support the Muslim world's issues and causes when they empower the popular mobilization forces in Iraq, hindering the development efforts in Iraq? I can't see how they support the Islamic causes. I believe these are simple slogans which they hide behind it, and these tools, they work to serve the Iranian interests rather than the slogans they claim. I don't know how they claim to be fighting for.
They not. And this is biblical prophecy that is happening right now. Stock up on food and water. Cause hey, if you don't believe in God, you better believe in something. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like button. I'll be right back, but I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do.